Hello YouTube, this is Matt Pullen, and I'm at chessvideos.tv, and I'm using their Endgame Simulator. This is probably going to be the last such video I make, unless I get requests for specific endings. But what I've been doing is I've just been going to this web page, and I click an ending from this list, and I can play the ending in my browser against Crafty. So I'm going to choose Rook and 2 pawns versus Rook. And I'm going to play this ending and comment on it, and hopefully you'll be able to play it too. I mean, chessvideos.tv is where you will go if you want to practice. Alright, this ending that they gave me, it's a random ending with, I have a king, rook, and 2 pawns, and he has a king and rook. And sometimes it's ridiculously easy, like this one. You play rook to e4 check, he moves his king, and then you trade rooks. And then you just win with the 2 pawns against the lone king. It's very easy. Let me refresh the page and see if they give me a harder one. Alright, this could be fun. Alright, so his king is cut off on the back rank by my rook, but it's in front of my pawns. It's very easy if the king is cut off by a file, like if his king were on g8 and my rook is on f4, so his king can never cross to the left of the f-file. That would be easy because then I just march my pawns down the board and I win by Sena, Belusena position. But this one, I'll play this one out. So I start out by pushing my pawn 1 square to give my king a place to go. And now I have to move my rook. I move my rook as far away as possible. In a rook ending, rooks work best when they're far away from the opponent king, so that the opponent king can't approach and attack them. They can give checks from afar if necessary. So I'm going to push my c-pawn again now, and then guard it. And he checks me, so I block with my pawn. I'm going to slowly advance up the board, and he's coming behind. Alright, how do I want to approach this? I'll come in front, and he'll probably check me from... No, he didn't check me. Alright, so I think I can get away with pushing my c-pawn now. Let's see what he does. What defense he puts up. Alright, so he moves his rook there. So I'm just going to come over now so I can push the other pawn. Alright, and now I have a place to go on d5 with my king if he checks me. Let's see what he does. Okay. So now I'll try going to c6. He'll probably check me on g6, and then I'll run behind my pawn. And now I will push my pawn and see what he does. Alright, now in this position, I'll move my king in front of my pawn so he cannot check me from behind, and I was threatening rook to h8 to checkmate, and possibly if he moved his king then I would have checked anyway on the back rank and squeezed him off, but he went to the back rank. So now, I mean, he can't do anything in this kind of defensive position, so I'll just push my pawn. And see, all he has now are waiting moves. So I'll play rook check, and if he goes king to d8, then I play rook to a7 and I win. So he'll probably go to b8. Right, so he went to b8, and now I play rook to b7 check. And if he goes king to c8, then I push my pawn for check, and then I check on b8. Alright, he went to a8, so now his king is cut off on a file, so I'll retreat my rook all the way back, so his king is cut off on a8 now. And he plays rook check. He's attacking my king and also attacking my back pawn. I'll give him the back pawn. I don't need it anymore. So he'll take. I'll go to the last rank, And I'll push my pawn. So I'm setting up a Lucena position here. So I'll put my rook on the 4th rank. See what he does. See, what makes this possible is his king is cut off. And now I will play king to e7, threatening the queen. Okay, he's attacking my rook, so if I queen, he'll just take the rook. And that's no good. Queen versus rook is winnable, but it's way too hard. I don't need to play that here, so I'll just see, what am I going to do here? I'll just pull back as far as I can. I'll reload. Because if I move my king down, my king would have nowhere to hide. So, alright, so I'll go to the 4th rank again. And now I'll come off. He's playing that same defense of counterattacking my rook. Oh wait, I know what to do. I can just play my rook behind the pawn here. I don't need to use the Lucena position. Right, and he's attacking my he's attacking my pawn, or pinning it. So I just get out, I'm threatening the queen. And he gives up his rook. So he sees that he's not going to be able to avoid me queening the pawn, so he just gave it up to forestall the checkmate. So now I just mate him with king and rook. This is pretty easy, but I'll show you anyway how I like to do this. So just keep making him give ground. Now I can cut him off on the edge, and then I just bring my king around for checkmate. And this is mate. Alright, let's see how much time I've left in the video. We probably have time for one more. So I'll refresh and see if we get another position that might be fun to play. Alright, this position I want to cut him off by playing here, but then he would checkmate me on g1. So first I have to stop that checkmate by playing a3. And now I cut his king off so he can't come any closer. And now I will slowly move up the board with my king and 2 pawns. Let's see, let's a pawn here. Push the b pawn. Move my king up. If he checks me, I'll hide on b4. But he doesn't check me, so I'll attack his rook. I'll push the a pawn. Alright, see, I don't think I can afford to give up my my b pawn here. So I'll just come over this way so I can keep pushing my b pawn. See how much time we have left. We got another 100 seconds. I can probably do this. So again, just slowly moving up the board, not to, when I push a pawn, I'm being careful that I'm still giving myself places to hide. And let's see. I'm going to give up my a pawn here. And now come to b6 with my king. And he has to retreat his rook. And I come to b7 with my king. And I keep advancing my pawn. So this is probably going to reach a Lucena position. So I'm going to come to d4. And now come off. Come to b6. And now he makes a waiting move. So I'm going to play rook to d5, threatening to play rook to b5 and build a bridge. And he's probably going to sack the rook. Yeah, he sacks the rook. So, yeah, in this position, I win just as easily as I did the last time with king and rook against king. Well, I hope this has been amusing for you. I didn't get very challenging positions this time, but hope it makes a good video anyway. And have a nice day.